Hello, my name is Jeff Young, and welcome to Management 3385 for May, June 2018. The purpose of this video is just to introduce myself to you and to run through the course outline. So this should probably take about 20-25 minutes, and we'll move on from there. But please, before you do anything in the course, please read the course syllabus. Please read it thoroughly. If you have any questions, you can contact me, but please read the course syllabus. The course syllabus is available under the Content tab, upper left corner of the course site in Brightspace. You can click on Table of Contents, and one of the first things you'll see is the syllabus. So while you're in the course site, please roll around and have a look at what's available there, and please become familiar with the Brightspace system. The system has been updated somewhat since last term actually, so some features are a bit new, but fundamentally the system works as it has in the recent past. The text for the course is the Schwind et al. Human Resource Management in Canada text. It's white. It's the 11th white cover. It's the 11th edition, and it's available in the bookstore. So the text has been used by a number of instructors, not only at St. Mary's but other schools in the city. So you should be able to quite easily get a new copy, and you might also be able to get a used copy at a better price. So check the bulletin boards, and sometimes the bookstore itself sells used copies of these texts. Please get a copy of the text. Read the text. There's a lot of individual work in the course. A lot of it is related to reading what's in the text, not only the content of the chapters, but various cases and exercises. Now, summer school moves very quickly, so the course is spread out over about 7 weeks, and we will do one module a week in some weeks, but most weeks we will do 2 modules. So that will mean 2, maybe 3 chapters or more per week for you to cover. So please read the syllabus. If I didn't mention that, get a copy of the text and get stuck in sooner, not later. Okay, I wanted to run through the evaluation materials, and we'll talk a bit about discussions and assignments and the issue of groups and the role of the team leader, or TL, as it's referred to in the course outline. First of all, we have module discussions. There are 11 module discussions. Some weeks there's only 1 discussion, some weeks there are 2 discussions. It's all laid out for you in the course syllabus. Discussions, which we will discuss more fully in a moment, are worth 15%. Module assignments, of which there are 12, sometimes 1 a week, sometimes 2 per week, are worth a total of 15% of the final grade. Again, we'll come back to talk about those a bit more. There is a team or group term report that's discussed more fully in the course syllabus, but basically what you're required to do is with your team members develop a fairly brief paper, around 7 to 8 pages, double-spaced, typewritten, that considers how human resource management has changed over the years, and how it's changing currently, and where it might be going in the future, and what the implications are then for human resource management professionals, those entering the profession, those currently in the profession. Okay? Are there roles changing? Are there changes in shift or changes in skills that go along with those shifts in roles? What are they? And so you need to be fairly focused. You should be looking at the academic and professional literature. If you want to use your textbook for a definition, fine. But do not over-rely on the textbook, please. Use academic sources. My suspicion is, depending on who you read, probably 6 to 9 sources should help you out here. In any event, we'll talk more about the term report as it unfolds. It does have to be properly written. It does have to be properly referenced and cited. I will provide you with some sample elements of referencing and citing. And if you have questions about those, you can contact me. In any event, we'll talk more about the team report as things unfold. The fourth element of evaluation is the midterm. We'll talk more about the midterm as we get closer to it, but fundamentally, you will write a 60-item multiple choice quiz on chapters 1, 2, 3, and 4 inclusive, and that test will be done online. It will be worth 8%. You will not need a proctor for that test. The midterm is unproctored. The test will be made available to you from early one morning, most likely a Monday morning, through until the following Thursday morning. So you'll have several days over which you can complete the test. The trick is you'll be given 75 minutes to do the test. So you need to complete the 60 items before the 75 minutes expire. And it seems to me that every term or two we come up with somebody who forgets to write the midterm, despite the fact that it's very clearly indicated on the course outline, the fact that I'm discussing it in this video, and the fact that I do send out some reminders, I do post a midterm overview, I do, again, sort of send a final reminder and get in there and get that test done. You can do it on your own time. You can do it from a coffee shop, you can do it from home, from campus, but you only have 75 minutes to do it. However, if you go in at the last minute, you decide that the test closes at 8 o'clock on the Thursday morning, and you decide to go in at 10 to 8, you'll only have 10 minutes to complete the test. So please, give yourself ample time and opportunity to complete the test. We'll discuss that more fully as the term unfolds. The last element of the evaluation for the course is the final exam. Whereas the midterm was worth 8%, the final exam is worth 42%. The final exam will be 120 multiple choice items from chapters 5 to 14 inclusive. If you are living within the 100-kilometer zone and taking the course within that zone, you'll be required to come to campus and complete the final exam on campus, and that's an exam that will be proctored in person by me. The final exam will not be online for those who are writing on campus. It will not be online for those writing on campus. The time, the date of the exam are indicated in the course outline. I don't have a room assigned at this point, but I will have relatively quickly. And as soon as I know what room that will be for the final exam, I will post it. Okay? You will likely have 2 day and time options to write the final exam. I'll give you some more detail when we get closer to that time. If you are living and taking the course outside the 100-kilometer zone, you can write the final exam online, but you have to make arrangements to have a proctor approved by St. Mary's University. Now, I have very little to do with the administration, the management, the implementation of proctoring at a distance. Read the course syllabus and you will see after the discussion of the final exam that there is a link there. And if you are someone who is eligible to write the final exam at a distance, click on that link and complete the requirements and submit as requested. Other people at St. Mary's will manage the process of this. I do not manage it. Okay? You need to have your proctor approved by St. Mary's University. But you have to be currently living and taking the course outside the 100-kilometer zone around St. Mary's University. Okay, please read the course outline. If I didn't say that already, I'm serious. Please read the course outline. Read it thoroughly. I've had students in almost every term the last 5 or 6 times that I've taught this course who either didn't read it, read it and didn't understand it, or read it and understood it and ignored it. And then they come at the last minute saying they didn't know the team report was to be done by a team. Can they do it as an individual? No. The team report must be done by your team or your group. The assignments must be done by your team or your group. I do not take individual assignments. Okay? In any event, please read the course outline. Now I want to just come back and take a moment with discussions. You will be assigned to a group by the system, and your group will have a number of sites or spaces within the Brightspace program to complete discussion. So, for example, discussion 1 really just asks you to read a case at the end of chapter 1, I think it is, and you read that case, and your job is twofold. First of all, having read the case, you must post an initial response. So create your own thread, say initial response, and away you go. Type in your response, and you can wait for your other team members. You have about a week to do this. Okay? A new week starts on the Monday morning, and you've got until 11 o'clock on the following Sunday evening to complete these posts. Once you've done that initial post, which will net you 3 points, if I may use that term, you then have to respond to any 2 other posts by your team members. Now, you can't just simply say, oh, I agree. If you agree, say why you agree. You can't just say, oh, I disagree. If you disagree, fine. Say why you disagree. If you like someone's point, then say why you like it. Okay? It's not just a, oh, good point. You have to respond in some meaningful way. It doesn't have to be long, but you should make an appropriate comment. You can like, dislike, agree, disagree, but you should say why not. So, for each discussion then, you can get a maximum of 5 points. There are 11 discussions. If you get 5 points for each discussion, you will get 55 points. So you'll get 55 out of 55, which is 100%. So you will get 100% of the 15% that is available for participation. If, for example, you just went in and made an initial post to all of the discussion cases, you would get 3 points for providing each one of those initial postings. And if you don't do any responses, you would get 3 out of 5 for those 11 discussions. That would be 33. 33 out of 55 is 60%. So you would then get 60% of the participation points. If you don't go into the online discussions, you don't make an initial post, and you don't make any responses, then you will get 0 out of 5 for each discussion for which you do not contribute an initial response and or initial posting and 2 responses to group mates. There is nothing that has to be submitted per se for the group discussion. You enter the Brightspace site, you enter the course site, and you conduct your discussions in the spaces provided. Okay? Now, I would like you to be sure to only conduct your case discussion for case 1 in the appropriate discussion site. When we move on to the following week, we'll have discussion 2 and discussion 3. There will be separate sites or spaces for those discussions. Please use those discussions. In addition to the discussion sites and the assignment sites, there will be a team term report site. A lot of people were 75% of the way through the course before they discovered that there was a term report site. So there is one there. Okay? Please use that as the place in which to discuss your team term report. There are also separate sites or spaces, if you will, for each group to conduct its assignment work. Okay? Now, there are 12 assignments, and I think in week 1 there's only 1 assignment, but then in week 2 there will be 2 assignments and so on. So you've really got to get stuck into this. Each assignment has its own site. So group 1 will have an assignment 1 site, group 1 will have an assignment 2 site, and so on. So become familiar with those. Now, what I'm asking each group to do, and by and large it's worked well, some groups just make it work really well, is I'm asking each group to have a team leader for each assignment. You have to submit an assignment. Okay? Now, there are no individual assignments. It has to be done by the team. So the team leader work, the TL work, can be spread among the group members over the term. There are 12 assignments. There is 1 team report. So you can get together and decide how you're going to manage that work. So there will be a team planning site. That should be the first site that you see when you look under the content and actually under the activities tab. You should see your discussions. You click on discussions, and you should see an initial site. You can use that team planning site to discuss all your term's work. I don't need to read all your discussions about the planning of your work. I do want to read your discussions about the weekly discussions. I want to see your initial postings, and I want to see your responses. And I also want to have access to your assignment work so I can see what's going on there. But come back to the TL for a moment. Decide who's going to be the TL, the team leader, for assignment number 1. The team leader is not responsible for simply writing the assignment on behalf of the group. The team leader is really responsible for starting some discussion on the appropriate site, collecting team member submissions, creating a draft of the document, posting it for the team to read. They could make comments, and then they could make suggestions about changes. And ultimately, the team leader's job is to pull the assignment into one cohesive, well-written piece and submit it through the appropriate drop box in the Brightspace system. Okay? Now, please understand that assignments are due by 11 o'clock on the Sunday night of the week in which they're completed. So I think the team leader should be able to set a reasonable schedule. So people should have made postings, people should have made comments to other postings, suggestions to others and or the team leader about how the assignment might be improved. Okay? And then the team leader can wrap it up and submit it. But the assignment is due by 11 p.m. on Sunday night. So oftentimes the team leader asks for people to post their initial responses by Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, team leader might pull them together, and the team leader might call for final responses, say on Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon, because that gives the team leader time to work on the assignment, pull it together, and do a good job, get a good grade, and make sure it's submitted on time. Now, one thing that's happened a number of times, and I don't understand why this happens, I'm trying to prevent it. Some students in some groups have thought, well, the submission deadline is 11 p.m. on Sunday. So if I submit my comments to the team leader, then by 5 to 11 on Sunday night, then I've done my job. No. You must be engaged with the assignment work and the team leader during the week. Please do not leave things to the last minute. Please do not leave things to the last minute. Get engaged in the course, get engaged in the weekly activities. Please be respectful of the TL. The TL is not to just write the answer and submit it on your behalf. The TL has to pull together your comments. So you need to get the comments to the team leader reasonably early. I suspect by Friday, Saturday. Now, the rules that are explained in a bit more detail in the course outline suggest that if you do not contribute to a particular assignment, then your name will be left off it and you will get 0. And you cannot submit an individual assignment. Well, some people submit individual assignments. I simply give them 0 and I move on. There are no individual assignments accepted here. So please, get in a group. Well, you'll be put in a group by the system, but get involved with your group. Get engaged with your group very early in the course, very early in each week, and use that planning site to determine who's going to be the team leader for which assignment or assignments, and let's move along here. Some groups have worked amazingly well. They've gotten good marks, everybody's contributed, and away they go. From time to time, some groups struggle a little bit, and a little bit too much is left to 1 or 2 people. If you're going to leave the work and not contribute, don't be surprised if your name is not included. So if your name is not included on an assignment submission, then you will get 0 for that assignment. So please work with your group. We'll talk some more about that too as the course unfolds. Please be respectful of the TL schedule and get that work in to give the TL time to get everything pulled together. All right, just a couple of other items. Your email address. For example, you will send your first assignment to me by 11 p.m. on the first Sunday of the course. And generally what I do is by the following Friday, I return those assignments, and I just return them through the email system within Brightspace. So Group 1 sends in its assignment, I read it, I comment, I grade it, and I return that assignment through the Brightspace system. Now, it will automatically get sent to the email address that you provided St. Mary's when you registered. Now, if you have changed your email address, you might want to look at updating your email system or your email address within the St. Mary's system. Sometimes students don't do that. They've changed email addresses 3 or 4 times, and yet their emails that I'm sending to them are going to some odd address somewhere that they no longer use. So please make sure that your current email address is the one that is in the St. Mary's system. Another issue is this course is being offered by the Department of Management at St. Mary's University through Brightspace. We are not operating on Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram. I don't know. There are so many of these social media sites, and I'm sure they're all wonderful. But our course is operating on Brightspace. So, It seems just about every term someone comes up with the idea, hey everybody, let's set up a Facebook group for the assignments or for the discussions. No, do not do that. Please use the spaces, sites for discussions and for assignments that are provided to you by St. Mary's University for this course in the Brightspace system. Okay? I cannot monitor Twitter and Facebook, and nor do I have any interest in trying. So I can monitor your work, and I can get very easy connection to it through the Brightspace system. So please use the Brightspace system and the spaces and sites that are set up for you to do your work. For some people, this course will be an extension of other online courses that they may have taken. For others, it might be the first time with online courses. I ask you to do several things, whether you're a veteran or a newcomer. First, I ask you to read the course outline. Please read it in detail. Read it thoroughly. Okay? Secondly, be patient. Not everybody logs in on day one, although I wish everyone would. So sometimes it takes people a class or a day or two to get stuck in. Sometimes people start the course and then drop, and then sometimes people are added late. So sometimes the first week, certainly in summer school, might be a little rocky, a little bumpy there, getting organized. But persevere, and my sense is after a week or so of summer school, you'll be a real pro at Brightspace, and by and large the system works very well. So I've just tried to give you some of the highlights. Please, please, please read the course outline. If there is something that is unclear, if there is something that's missing, okay, or if you're seeing some contradictory information or anything, please contact me. I have provided some office hours and office location on the course syllabus itself. I've also provided you my email address, so you can come and see me in the office during office hours. And if those office hours don't suit you, that's unfortunate, but we can probably work to find something that will do for both of us. Okay, some mutually agreeable day and time, and we can talk. You can email me. My email address is there. If it's too difficult for us to meet for whatever reason, we can talk by telephone. Okay? But there are lots of options. The Collaborate system, which I will be using, has undergone some changes. So I will update what's happening with Collaborate. Collaborate, as I'm using it, is just a form of online office hours. So I will be online on Monday evenings, I believe from 5 to 6 is what I have on the course outline. And it's not a class, there's no lecture, there's nothing, no extra points for this. This is just simply online office hours. So if you wish to contact me through the Collaborate system, I'll be there on that first Monday evening from 5 to 6, and each Monday evening thereafter. Okay. So please, if there's anything that you need to know, don't wait. Contact me. I generally check email in the mornings and in the evening, so I'm usually in there twice a day. And I certainly get back to people within 24 hours. And if you haven't heard from me within 24 hours, there may well be something that's gone awry with your email or your phone message or what have you. So please send me another email or make another phone call. Okay? So thank you very much. Please read the course outline, and we will talk at some point over the summer. Thank you very much.